Previously, in part 1 of Egypt's musical zenith, we uncovered how ancient melodies, once whispered through reeds and drummed on stretched hides, blossomed into an intricate tapestry of sound. As foreign influences enriched these sacred traditions, a new musical power began to emerge in the courts of pharaohs. In the luminous courts of Malkata Palace, Amenhotep III elevated music to unprecedented heights of royal resplendence. More than mere entertainment, he transformed musical performance into a display of pharaonic power. Under his patronage, court musicians crafted intricate harmonies that would echo through generations. These masterful performers, chosen from Egypt's finest temples, wielded golden harps and sacred drums to create sounds that proclaimed Egypt's might to visiting dignitaries from distant lands. Beyond the court's splendor, Amenhotep III understood music's divine power. His festivals filled Thebes with harmonies that bridged heaven and earth. In temple and palace alike, he commissioned new instruments of unprecedented beauty, each adorned with symbols of royal and divine authority. Through music, Amenhotep III spoke both to gods and mortals, weaving a legacy of sound that would influence his son's revolutionary vision. While his father used music to elevate tradition, Akhenaten wielded it to shatter convention. His hymns to the Aten soared with radical melodies that broke from ancient forms. The great hymn to the Aten, composed by the pharaoh himself, abandoned the old rhythms of temple worship. Where Amenhotep III had built upon sacred foundations, his son created something entirely new, each note reaching higher, like rays of sunlight, embodying his direct connection to divine radiance. Though brief, Amenhotep's son Akhenaten's musical revolution left an indelible mark on Egypt's sacred songs. In Amarna's sun-bathed courtyards, musicians created bright, ascending melodies that mirrored the sun's daily journey. These innovations, born of one pharaoh's vision of art and worship, would forever change how Egypt's music spoke to the divine. Despite his musical brilliance, Akhenaten's radical vision shook Egypt to its foundations. His departure from thousand-year traditions earned him powerful enemies, and after his death, priests sought to erase his legacy. Yet even as temples returned to ancient ways, the echoes of his musical revolution proved impossible to silence. These daring innovations, though born from a rejected pharaoh's vision, had awakened something that could not be forgotten. In the courts of Tutankhamun and the Ramesside pharaohs, the musical innovations of both Amenhotep and Akhenaten found new life. The bright melodies of Amarna blended with ancient temple harmonies, creating rich new compositions. Court musicians began incorporating elements of both traditions. The soaring hymns to Aten merged with the deep resonance of traditional temple music. This synthesis produced compositions of unprecedented complexity and beauty. These royal harmonies transformed temple worship itself. Priest musicians, once guardians of unchanging tradition, wove court innovations into their sacred ceremonies. The temples of Hathor, particularly at Dendera, became centers where royal and sacred music merged into something greater. Here, priestesses wielded elaborate sistra in ceremonies that combined ancient rites with new musical forms. During grand festivals, these transformed melodies filled every corner of Thebes. From Karnak's towering halls to Luxor's processional ways, music that began in Amenhotep's court, transformed by Akhenaten's vision, now united all of Egypt in harmony. Each festival became a living testament to how two pharaohs had forever changed the voice of Egypt's music. Beyond temple and palace walls, these royal harmonies became Egypt's voice to the world. Foreign emissaries witnessed performances that transcended language, carrying tales of divine music to distant lands. In the courts of foreign kings, these legendary compositions spoke of Egypt's grandeur more eloquently than any display of military power. From these two pharaohs, father and son, flowed a legacy that would shape Egyptian music for centuries. Their innovations elevated court musicians to unprecedented heights, making their performances inseparable from Egypt's divine authority. Through their vision, music became more than art. It became the voice of Egypt's eternal power. From the acoustic chambers of Malkata Palace to the sun-bathed courtyards of Amarna, these pharaohs built their musical visions in stone. Today, their temples still whisper ancient harmonies, in the precise angles that once reflected sound, in the carvings of musicians at prayer, in the very stones that witnessed one of history's greatest musical transformation. The musical legacy of Amenhotep III and his son Akhenaten rippled through centuries, crossing seas and transforming distant shores. The sacred harmonies they created would echo far beyond Egypt's borders, carried across the Mediterranean to inspire a new musical dawn. As Greek philosophers encountered these divine melodies, they discovered principles that would transform their understanding of music's power. The wisdom of Egypt's royal composers resonated through the marble halls of Athens, where these ancient harmonies evolved into revolutionary theories connecting music and mathematics. In the academies of ancient Greece, Egyptian musical traditions seeded an intellectual flowering, where sound, numbers, and the cosmos converged in ways that would forever change humanity's relationship with music. The story of how these pharaonic harmonies ignited the Greek musical revolution awaits us on our next journey.